I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Greetings, everybody. Happy Monday morning to you all. Hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you all enjoyed your Sunday, and I had an excellent one, and it was a roller coaster ride. Started off the day, my first two bets, Guardians money line, which was one of my favorite bets of the day, probably my favorite bet of the day, and Mets money line as well. They both got smoked in the game. My third bet is A's team total over. They have 0 runs in the sixth. So it looks like I'm about to start 0-3. I had 7 bets, and I was like, oh, my God, I'm about to lose a fortune today. Sixth inning, the A's score 5 runs. I get that one, and then I win every single bet for the rest of the day. So ended up going 5-2 with a couple nice ones in there. Had the White Sox at a big plus price, had the Marlins at a big plus price. So ended up being an excellent Sunday for me after the rough start. That's the good news. The bad news is I think I'm sitting on some bad wagers here for this upcoming slate. I think the market's going to move against me in one of them. It kind of already has a little bit. We'll see. But I have 3 bets open. We'll talk about them. They're pretty ugly. I guess we'll find out. First one up, San Diego on the road in Philadelphia. And to be honest, you would think Zach Wheeler at home, you would think that they would be a little overpriced. But I honestly think minus 223 is pretty fair. I don't really know what to expect from Matt Waldron. There were times where he looked all right last year earlier on. Finished off the season looking really rocky. For those of you that don't know, he has not pitched this year. He got hurt, I think, during spring training. So he got hurt right before the season started. So he's making his first start. Really don't know what to expect from him there. There's still no Bryce Harper, which means I don't think we priced the Phillies lineup as anything elite. In the last couple of weeks, they're pretty average across the board. We know this lineup hasn't been the same. So if you're wondering why, after everything I just said, Zach Wheeler on the mound, Phillies lineup hasn't been very explosive. Why are we getting the total at 9? Well, the Phillies lineup always is better at home at the bank. It's really nice weather here, plus 14% run index, plus 35% home run index. So if you like any home run hitters, this might be a game to look. I'm just going to put up under. This is not one of my bets. I really don't have much interest in it. Spoon, do you have any interest in this one?
So just looking at Waldron, it's kind of a mystery as to why he hasn't come up to this point, because he's made 9 starts in the minors. I guess maybe it's not a huge mystery. His whip is really high. He's gotten touched by 3 or 4 different lineups down there, and I think the Padres are just really in a bad spot with pitching with everybody on the IL right now. So I think they're forced to put a pitcher they don't really want up in the majors right now out there. It's a guy that famously relies on that knuckleball. So like a knuckleballer, any day that can actually work, people can't hit that. There's no way to hit it. All you can do is hope it's not going to be thrown for a strike. And I don't know, that's a huge gamble you want to take if you want to get on the Padres side. The Phillies, I think they're expecting Bryce Harper back tomorrow. Everything I've seen points towards Monday as being the day that he should be back in the lineup. He traveled with them on their last series. He took today off, pretty well rested, didn't do anything out in the field or batting, but I believe everything from his last batting practice on Saturday was positive. So I would expect him in the lineup. I think that's baked into the price already. I expect we see that in the morning. Zach Wheeler, it's hard to fade him. I'm not going to put Phillies -1 up for me just because I think it's a little too square. I think I'd probably do the Padres plus 1.5.
TV Jones?
Their bullpen is absolutely smoked.
Yeah, Phillies -1.5, team total over. I mean, I know it's the weather's a little bit of rain in the forecast, but still it's going to be 86 degrees, wind blowing out 6 miles an hour. I mean, Waldron and AAA Toast Spoon just said his whip this year 146 versus lefties and then 175 versus righties, and he's given up 5, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 1, 3. Like he's given up runs in the minors. Now you got Phillies at home with Zach Wheeler on the bump. I think the Padres really struggled to score, and I think the Phillies actually hit up Waldron in that bullpen a little bit. So I like the 1.5 and the team total over. depending on it's going to be like a 4.5 juice would be my guess. But I think Philly bounces back pretty well at home here, especially with Big Wheeler on the bump.
So Spoon mentioned the Padres bullpen is cooked, and he is not lying. I'll show you. 1 sec. Padres. So here it is right here. Padres bullpen. Most likely. Oh, no Suarez. Morahone maybe, but he's gone back-to-back days. Probably no Jason Adam. Now, the thing is, you would really only see these guys if they were winning, and I don't really expect them to be winning late in the game. But, yes, the Padres bullpen is cooked. So even if, by chance, the Padres do have a late lead, it's going to be a stretch closing this one out. And Adam's Digest in the comments, he's talking about why they think the Padres held Wallner back. This is interesting because he does really well with warmer temperatures. He fell off the table last year when the temperatures got cooler. Could be a knuckleball thing. And, yeah, I mean, August and September at the end of last season, he was getting rocked. So maybe that's why. Makes sense. You know what? Let's look at the voice chat picks here. I think they filled it out today. Yep, they did. All right, so let's get those up.
Shout out sports scientist Jacob for filling that out.
Yeah, yes. Here we go. Spoon, first 5 under, it says. Jacob's first. Everyone's on the first 5 under.
Yeah.
You guys all picked the same thing?
There was a 5.5 on the board. We were looking at a knuckleballer and Zach Wheeler. How many runs is Zach Wheeler going to give up? I don't think that Waldron's going to get touched that hard, and I don't know. That I don't have a bet in this game, but I think that first 5 under does offer a lot of value there.
Cool. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is Cardinals Pirates. Man, another tough one. So the last couple games, I think the question you have to ask in this one, last couple games, Andrew Heaney hasn't looked quite as sharp. He's having himself a good year, but we're talking about a couple back-to-back rocky starts here. And it's kind of a two-sided coin because you have Andrew Heaney coming off back-to-back starts. Is he starting to turn back into a pumpkin? Remember, we've had a lot of years with Andrew Heaney. He's been good at times, but there's also been times where he's been really bad. So is Andrew Heaney turning back into a pumpkin? And on the other side, do we trust this Cardinals lineup against lefties right now? I was talking about it. This is one of my losses today. I took Cleveland. They didn't really get to Logan Allen. I mean, Logan Allen ended up pitching himself a decent game. He only allowed 7 base runners in 6 innings, 3 runs, maybe 8 base runners. Logan Allen ended up putting together a decent stat line. Now, the Cleveland Bats did absolutely nothing. But my theory that the Cardinals lineup is dying against lefties, it wasn't really put to rest today. So I don't really know what to think about Heaney against the Cardinals. And then on the other side, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, hold up. Is Eric Fedde pitching well right now? Do we trust Fedde? And the Pirates lineup has scored 30 runs in the last 3 days. So I just feel like there's moving pieces everywhere in this one. I have no idea. If you put a gun to my head and forced me to bet it, I would take the under 8.5, but this is a straight pass. I wouldn't be surprised if the Pirates win 12-0. Wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals win 12-0. Wouldn't be surprised if the final score is 1-0 or 15-16. I feel like there's a lot of variance in every aspect of this baseball game. Spoon, do you agree, disagree?
I have a lean to the Cardinals here. I think it is. This game is filled with volatility. Eric Fedde is coming off a bad game in his own right. 7 earned runs to the Chicago Cubs. At home, his starts haven't been as good. On the road, he hasn't really had a bad game all season, and I don't see a reason why this Pirates lineup is going to hand it to him. Obviously, they've scored all those runs in the last 3 games, but just because they just scored runs doesn't mean they're going to continue to score runs. It's a change of series, and this series means a lot more. This is a in-division series between the Pirates and the Cardinals. The Cardinals have playoff hopes this year, and these are the kind of games they need to win. If we take that 7 earned run out of Eric Fedde's game log, it looks pretty serviceable. Like he's going to keep them in any game with an ability to win. Obviously, the Cardinals bats versus lefties are not the greatest, so it didn't end up making my card, but I have a lean to the Cardinals.
I'm going to put it up right above mine as well. If I was to take a side, it would be the Cardinals. The Pirates bats have obviously looked good the last few games, and I think that's we're seeing that in the market. You can get plus 104 with the Pirates. So I think the number's in a playable range for St. Louis. I'll put the Cardinals up too because that's the side I'd go with. But, yeah, no play for me. What about TV Jones?
Yeah, it would be Pirates money line.
Wow.
They're cooking right now. Like they absolutely demolished the Mets. Now you're gonna get it at home. You get the Cardinals traveling in. Fetty, yes, he's looked all right this year, but his last start wasn't great. I know Haney hasn't looked great either, but it's not like the Cardinals are really doing a whole bunch first lefties. I mean, 3-0, 0-1-2. They got 5 off of Quintana. They're 2-1. Like the last 8 or 9 games first lefties. So it's not like they're mashing them. I think Haney will be fine. I think an 8.5 total kind of implies that it's more of a pitcher's duel. I don't know if Pittsburgh goes out and puts up 12 runs again, but I kind of believe in the Pirates and their bats right now. I think they're going to get it done. So cheap price. I would pick Pittsburgh, but I ain't betting this game at all. I'm kind of with you. I could see this going both ways, but kind of just believe in Pittsburgh right now.
And look at Fetty. Yeah, he got rocked by the Cubs here. Crushed. Before that, solid start. Okay, it's against the White Sox. Goes into Milwaukee. This is a quality start here. Just 5 base runners. He pitches into the 6th inning. 5 1/3 shutout against the Dodgers. This is a great start here against Texas. Decent start. Not too great. Not too bad against Baltimore. Decent start against the Tigers. Just 5 base runners. He gave up some runs, but just – so, I mean, he's been 5 2/3 shutout, 9 shut. He's been solid. I don't know what to think, man. Let's move on to the next one, to our Blue Jays whisperer, TV Jones. I know it's Scherzer, and we don't know what to expect. I personally think the Yankees get to him. Do you trust Rodon here on the road, TV Jones?
I kind of like Toronto. They've been hitting really well. I mean, if you look at their last couple of games versus lefties, I mean, they got 3-1-2, 0-5, 8-1-2, 6-7. So it's like it's either hit or miss. But Toronto at home, they're back. Rodon I believe it was a rough outing his last one. I forget. Let me pull this up. But regardless, the Reds. Yeah, never mind. I'm thinking the game prior against the Angels. Yeah, I mean. Scherzer, obviously, he kind of struggles early, but he settles in. He settled in against Cleveland. When they played them, that first inning, it kind of looked like it might get in some trouble, but he got out of it, and he pitched fine. The Yankees, they're fine right now, but you're getting a cheap price with Rodon and the Yankees. I think Scherzer shows up. I think the Blue Jays show up and deal and get this done. And plus 125 for them at home, and they've been hitting up lefties pretty damn well. So, I just think I think Toronto gets it done here. I'm believing in them. This could get scary for me at some point here, but I'm just going to keep riding them. They've been in cash cow right now.
So I agree with you in the respect that I think Toronto could score runs on Rodon. Spoon's going to be on the other side, by the way. I already know what Spoon's bet is. But I think the move here, and I think this total's suspiciously low, and you can see by our poll, 71 people have voted already, and 25% of them are on the over. So I think this is a very popular over. The roof's obviously closed in Toronto, which really suppresses runs. I'm not going to bet it for that reason. This roof is magical. They took the roof off the space to turn to the Coors Field. So with the roof closed, maybe that's why we're getting such a low total. But something I want to point out, and before Spoon tells us why he's betting the Yankees, something I want to point out. So Rodon's been great. Don't get me wrong. But look at the Blue Jays' offensive numbers. This has been a very consistently good lineup for a long time now. This is a borderline top 5 lineup, top 10 lineup in the last 30 days. Against lefties, this is a top 5 lineup in the last 30 days, top 5 lineup on the season. So we all can agree the Blue Jays are a good offensive team this year. I don't think anyone would argue with that. If you go down to look at Rodon's game logs here, what do we notice? Cincinnati, they can't hit lefties. Angels, they can't really hit lefties. Boston can hit lefties. They got to him twice. Before that, Cleveland, worst lineup in baseball against lefties. Angels again. Rangers, they can't hit anybody. I will say he's got a lot of good starts here. Happen to be against teams that don't really hit lefties. The Blue Jays can. Now, I am not going to trust Max Scherzer to pitch to the Yankees, but I think it'd be over. I'm scared of the roof being closed. But go ahead, Spoon. Are you on the Yankees? Yankees -1?
Yep. So I have the Yankees -1. I want to touch on that roof real quick. Just looking at the weather, the temperature-wise, it fits the bill to be open, but there's 2 different storm systems in the area, and with that high chance of precipitation, I expect that roof to be closed. And like you said, it's a magic roof. It brings the run total down. I think Carlos Rodon is a guy that shows up at the ballpark and pretty much shows you what you have in the first inning or so. He's either going to be no hit or he's going to be hit quite a bit. And I know the Blue Jays bats look pretty decent versus left-handed pitching, but sometimes those numbers get skewed a bit. You see with the roof open versus Jeffrey Springs and Jacob Lopez, they combined for 13 runs in less than 4 innings. Then Jesus Luzardo, he was notably tipping pitches. He was hitting back-to-back starts very hard. Matthew Liberatore. So I don't see a bunch of good lefties that he's hitting. I consider Carlos Rodon above most of these people, more in the range that Christopher Sanchez is. Noted Ranger Suarez hater, but obviously Suarez pitched well there too. I think Rodon can show up, have a good game. The part of this game that I want to circle is Max Scherzer. He's pitching with a blister on his hand. He's not comfortable, and they're going to need him to go out there and throw innings. I think I think the Yankees lineup can definitely get to him. They're going to leave him out there for 5 innings. He's Scherzer. He's getting paid a bunch of money. This is Yankee spot for me, -1. I think this total has a chance of coming down even further. You might even be able to get a 7.5 on ESPN Bet tomorrow if that total is something you really like. I hear a lot of the people in the chat liking that over. Just wait and do it tomorrow then when the roof is officially closed.
Right. What's the price on that -1?
I got -116.
-116 for the Yankees, -1. I agree with the Yankees against Scherzer. So speaking of the voice chat, let's head on over and see. We skipped the second game, so let's see what they liked in that second game. TJ was on Pirates first 5 money line. A-Stead, Pirates team total over. Fade of Fetty, I guess. Jacob first 5 plus the half run for the Pirates. Charles is on the over there. I like the under. And in the Yankees Blue Jays, all right, so we got a lot here. So hold on. One side, Jacob. There we go. All right. So Jacob's on Yankees -1. Boba. Oh, that's all right. Boba. First 7 minus the half run for the Yankees. Judge over 1.5 bases. Charles is on Yankees -1. Gab's on Yankees -1. A-Stead's on Yankees -1. TJ's on the I remember TJ talking about it. Yankees first 5 run line. And then Adams on some props here. Vlad over bases and walks. Next game. A lot of people were dealing heat in the voice chat tonight. All right. Cincinnati, Boston, and I'll go first so everyone can point and laugh at me. I just want to be very clear. I do not think this is a good bet. I just couldn't figure out a way to bet the 2 teams.
You actually did it.
Oh, I did it. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's pathetic. Everyone can laugh at me. By no means am I saying you should tail this. By no means am I saying this is a plus EV bet. I just did some gambling on 2 teams that I think are going to win. We're seeing this total drop. It was pretty much all 8s when we started the voice chat. Now it's mostly 7.5s. So it looks like we're taking some early under money, despite beautiful hitting weather in Fenway. And that's because all signs point to Crochet throwing an absolute gem here against a Reds lineup that's much, much better against right-handed pitching. Crochet's been excellent. He should be fine here. The Red Sox used a bunch of bullpen arms, but they all should be available. So the Reds should really struggle to score runs here. The weather's beautiful, but in terms of the matchup against the pitcher, I really like the Red Sox to hold Cincinnati to a low number. On the other side, it's a little bit of a Chase Burns is a highly touted prospect, as I'm sure Spoon's about to talk to you about. Got great stuff. The Red Sox really struggling against righties besides that game against Bassett. I just think the lights might be a little too bright for the youngster here in Fenway Park. Beautiful weather. I think we can count on the Red Sox to get a couple of them. And then what I like later in the game, it's not necessarily that I like the Red Sox to spark this kid Chase Burns, because from what I'm hearing, he's really, really good. But later in the game, so check it out. Barlow probably not available for the Reds. Taylor Rogers probably not available for the Reds. You're going to have Pagan and Santillan. They just pitched today, but they were rested. They're not going to use these guys on back-to-back days unless they're winning late, which I don't think they're going to be. So if they don't have a lead, so say it's the 5th inning, Chase Burns' outs prop is 15.5, heavily juiced to the under. So they do not think the market does not think Chase Burns is going deep into this game. Who's pitching 6, 7, and 8 when the Reds are down, say, 2-1? I mean, you're going to see Gabao, Suter, maybe Connor Phillips. you're going to see some shaky arms there for the Reds. So I just think this is a really good spot for the Red Sox to win. So after all that, what's the pathetic bet I placed? Yeah, a donkey parlay. Red Sox raised plus 137 moneyline parlay. Spoon, tell us about Chase Burns.
Yeah, this is a 3-year college kid, very mature when he entered the minor leagues. He went through all 3 spots in the minors very quickly. He has had nothing but success throwing the baseball. A lot of times I noted that the AA ball is different than the AAA ball, but it doesn't seem to have affected his control at all. He's got 100 miles an hour that he can throw with that fastball. It averages at 98. He's got a slider, a change, and a curve to go with it. He did not really throw that curve in the first game. Kind of interesting, but I expect it in his arsenal. One thing I've noted in the minor leagues, it looks like he's faced way more left-handed batters than he has right-handed batters. And that's kind of hard to do because the minor league is just filled with right-handed bats because there's just more decent right-handers coming up. I think that he probably struggles with lefties, and we haven't seen it yet. If you look at the Yankees, they loaded up lefties against him, and I expect Boston to do the same thing. The total is interesting because Ballpark Pal has this model as the most offensive park on the day, and Boston this time of year, when the weather warms up, Fenway plays a lot more offensive friendly. The wind's blowing right at the Green Monster. So people are going to try to hit it right over it. Most of the time, it just ends up hitting off the wall and you get a bunch of doubles. I know Chase Burns is a rookie and the lights are bright, but I think he'll actually pitch pretty well. He's probably just going to go out there and just attack these guys with his stuff, try to get as many strikeouts as he can. And that's probably why the 5 innings is the thing. He's going to throw a lot of pitches trying to get all those strikeouts. On the opposite side of this game, I don't know how much I really want to trust the Boston bats to perform. Garrett Crochet is a really good pitcher. He's going to see this young stud on the mound, and I think he's going to have his best stuff. I think a lot of these pitchers really get up for each other sometimes when you see them. I could only be on the Reds in some way, shape, or form. I see you said that the 4 or 5 pitchers have pitched yesterday, but all those guys, I mean, it's only one day. Bullpens get used 3 days in a row at some point. The only person I really don't expect is Scott Barlow. Emilio Pagan is going to be available. Tony Santione will be available. Taylor Rogers will be available. Suter will be available. You gave him some kind of bad words. I think he's a really good pitcher. I don't know. It's Reds or nothing for me. There's a lot of value there. Maybe the plus 1.5 with the low total, but I'm not going to have a bet in this game.
It's not. I know Pagan and Santino be available. I just wouldn't think we would see them unless they're winning the game. TV Jones, what do you think?
Yeah, Garrett Crochet under 1.5 earned runs. You already said it. The total's going down, and then if you look at Reds versus lefties lately, I mean 0-0, 0-0, 2-2, 0-0, 1-1, 4-1, 0-0, 0-0. They're not getting to lefties. They got Matthew Boyd May 23rd, and then Logan Allen and Eduardo Rodriguez went 6 and 5 innings and only gave up 2. So they're struggling. Yes, the weather is great for hitting, but Crochet's just been on another level. One of the better lefties in the game right now, and Cincinnati just cannot hit them. But with that being said, like, I think Burns will be fine. His strikeouts, I was tempted. It was like plus 130 for 7. I mean, you got Boston's 4th highest K rate last 4 weeks versus righties. I was tempted there, but ultimately just going to be playing Crochet under earned runs. But kind of tempted to just play the Cincinnati money line too. I mean, we've seen this Boston bullpen blow gems, and of Crochet's like not being able to nail a game down, and we've seen Boston offense just kind of go dormant at home at times. So I was really tempted to fire on Cincinnati too, but ultimately just got to Crochet under earned runs. I think he's going to deal tomorrow. This could easily be like 2-0, 1-0, something like that after like 7 innings by the time he leaves.
What's the price on that?
Plus 115.
So under 1.5 plus 115.
Yep.
Crochet under 1.5 earned run plus 115. All right, let's move on. Next game is A's Rays, and I'll just put the same graphic up. Go ahead, Spoon. I know you gave a nice little soliloquy on Tampa in this one, and I really like he's about to talk about it. I really like what he's about to say about why there's regression coming for Jacob Lopez here, because Jacob Lopez has been excellent. But I really like how Spoon laid it out. So go ahead, Spoon.
So we can start with Jacob Lopez here. This is a guy whose numbers look really good in his last 4 starts. He blanked Baltimore in 4 innings. He blanked Kansas City in 6 innings. Just 1 earned run to the Houston lineup in 6 innings, and then 0 earned in 7 innings pitched versus Detroit. And I was on him in that game. The big reason I was on him in that game is because he can get lefties out. Detroit's lineup is filled with really good hitting lefties. I'd like to note that Kansas City is terrible at hitting lefties, and Baltimore is also filled with good hitting lefties. So those 3 lineups, he had his strengths working for him. Today, he's not going to have that. He's going to be facing a Tampa Bay lineup that I expect to put 8 righties out there. Brandon Lau often sits against lefties, and Jacob Lopez has a just nasty slider. It's probably his best pitch, and I don't think it's a pitch any lefty can really barrel up. So I don't expect Brandon Lau to start the game. If they get to Lopez, I wouldn't be surprised to see him immediately get pinch hit and come in and play the rest of the game. On the opposite side of this, we have a lineup for the Athletics that have probably 6 righties in the lineup tomorrow. I would only expect Lawrence Butler, Nick Kurtz, and Tyler Soderstrom for the left. And obviously those are some bats that have a little bit of power, but that's 6 righties still. And Rasmussen is a guy that is really good at getting righties out. He's got a .76 whip on the season versus those righties. And I think that he can just absolutely shut down this Athletics lineup. The one thing with Lopez that I didn't quite mention there was when he got called up from the minors, he was having a lot of control issues. It showed up in the majors immediately. He had 7 walks in less than 3 innings. And after that, they told him you can't walk guys at the major league level, figure out how to throw it over the plate. And when he's throwing it over the plate versus lefties, he can rely on that slider to get the outs. When he's throwing it over the plate versus a bunch of righties, I think they're going to hit him. That fastball isn't as plus as the slider is, and that slider doesn't play the same way to righties. So I really think this is a spot where Jacob Lopez is going to be hit with some aggression. That's really my big spot on this game. I think the Rays bullpen arms are going to be there to close this game out, but I don't think it's going to come down to just 1 run. This park does play a lot more pitcher friendly at night than it does during the day, and it's going to be lower temperatures than we've seen. So I think this is going to be a spot where Rasmussen's very comfortable. He's pitched in this park with it at its most offensive conditions and pitched very well. I think it's a really big advantage for him to have already been here multiple times.
What's the price on that -1?
Minus 128.
All right. What about TV Jones?
Yeah, it'd be Tampa -1 for me too. I know they lost back-to-back games. Brutal. I mean, just that Friday night game was something else. Absolutely crazy. But Tampa -1 back at home. Jacob Lopez on the road versus righties, which majority of the lineup for the Tampa is going to be. He's got a 281 average, a 453 slug, a 353 WOBA. His average versus righties is up 60 points on the road versus where it is at home. I think Tampa coming back home can bounce back and win a game here. I mean, -1. They should win the game. So, I mean, whatever, I'll take the 1-2. But I was tempted with the over 4.5 also. You're going to get that A's bullpen. But the weather isn't ideal. It's going to be cloudy, a little bit of rain tomorrow. But it is blowing out 5 to 6 miles an hour tomorrow. So I was tempted with that, but ultimately just Rays -1, set it and forget it.
I want to be – my bet is on Ras. I mean, this dude – remember what you guys I took the Royals against the Rays probably I guess it was 5 or 6 days ago because it was Rasmussen's last start, and everyone made fun of me. It lost. It was not the Michael Wacha or the Rays bat or that lost me that game. They scored 3 runs on infield singles. It was Rasmussen being an absolute dog that lost me that bet. He was untouchable, and he's been untouchable for some time now. So when I was talking about that game and I was like, this is mispriced, where I was wrong is the price for Rasmussen. That's where I was wrong in the pricing out of that game. He's a monster. So against an A's lineup that hasn't been very good at all, I think he holds them down. So this parlay, obviously, it's disgusting. What I was circling is not so much Rays and Red Sox as much as I like the Reds team total under and the A's team total under. I think both of those teams are not going to score runs. So that's why I'm on Red Sox and Rays. It's actually because I think the other teams are both going to struggle to score, both in hitting environments too, which is a little shaky. But hey, it's a plus 137 money line parlay with two heavy favorites. It's not exactly the sharpest decision I ever made. Orioles on the road in Arlington. Man, I'm on an island here. I didn't bet this one. We talked about this one for like 20 whole minutes. Real quick before we move on, voice chat picks. There was a bunch of people participating, so let's get their stuff up here. So Red Sox, Red Sox. Charles is on first. I can't read that. Reds first 5 team total under. Jacob, Reds first 5 team total under. Boston -1. So, yeah, a lot of people on that Reds team total under. Adams on Reds team total. First 3 team total under a half. TJ's on Boston. OT's on Boston. I don't want this like a record of this. Steez is on first 3 under. Boba's on first 3 under. And then in the A's-Rays game, TJ's on Rays -1. Spoon's on Rays -1. Jacob's on Rays -1. Adams on first 5 under. I don't remember him talking about that. First 5 under? Oh, I do remember him talking about that. Yep. And then all right. Next game is Orioles-Rangers. We talked about this one in the voice chat for like 20 minutes, and it's not so much – all right, I'm putting Rangers up. I didn't bet it. It's not so much that I think the Rangers are a great bet here at a pick. I was arguing specifically on everyone's reaction to the price. People are like, how is this price so off? And I don't understand. I think the price is pretty close to efficient. Spoon, you know the argument that happened. So what are your thoughts on it?
So this is a difficult game for me. I heard somebody say that Baltimore should be maybe -145 in this game. I was really kind of taken back at that point in the voice chat, and I started digging into the next game.
It was Ace crazy ass.
It was just, I don't know. So Patrick Corbin is on the mound. This is a guy that's given up 9 earned runs and 15 hits in his last 2 games. That's to Baltimore and Kansas City, 2 lineups that aren't exactly killing it. This Texas lineup, or this Orioles lineup, obviously got 5 off him. So can they do it again? On the other side, Trevor Rogers also just saw this Texas team, and he pitched the best game he's pitched since he was a rookie. He went 8 innings pitched, 0 earned, 3 hits, probably the best game of his career. I don't know that I trust Trevor Rogers to go out there and do it again, but I think the books are sort of respecting it. Some of the offshores have already shown movement towards Baltimore. Our friend TJ in the voice chat was pointing that out, and that's a pretty strong take for me. I think Trevor Rogers probably matches up pretty well versus this Texas lineup. They're 27th weighted runs created plus on the full season versus lefties. Trevor Rogers plus pitches his changeup, and I think he can probably pitch well. Put me up on the board for Baltimore. I think this line is going to continue to move to Baltimore. I don't know if I will end up having a bet on it tomorrow. Probably not.
I just don't understand what everyone's seeing that has everyone convinced that Baltimore's just such a better team here. I mean, the Rangers have a better record recently. They have a better record on the season. They're at home. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because
the vividness bias in people's minds will never go away about Patrick Corbin being an absolute gas can. People see Patrick Corbin and they say you have to fade him.
I thought that's what everyone thought about Trevor Rogers also. I mean,
so the small sample size this year, I think, is starting to sway people's opinions. He's in a different franchise. Things start to change. He's pitched in Florida his whole career, and things didn't work out that well for him. He's made a change of scenery, gone across the country. That can be a really big thing for anybody, not just a pitcher, but a player in any sort of atmosphere. If you're in a bad spot that doesn't work for you, you're probably not going to perform your best. And if you're on the Marlins, you're not in a good spot. They're always just a bad team. So I think going to Baltimore, they need a good pitcher. And this is a guy that was highly touted when he first came into the league. I think he wants to step up for them. Like, he wants to be a successful pitcher. He doesn't want to be a gas can for his whole career. And he's not at the point of Patrick Corbin where the public automatically thinks that. But small sample sizes, you can't trust. Baseball's 162 games. We should be looking at large numbers. And if we go back to the last 2 or 3 seasons, Trevor Rogers has not shown the ability to demand this price. So
that's
I
what I'm
understand what you're
saying.
saying.
And we're talking about small sample sizes. I mean, to me, it's just one game. The game against the Rangers, they had a 52.2% hard hit rate against him. I mean, they had a 142 BABIP in the game. That was the luckiest game ever pitched by Trevor Rogers in the last one. The one before that, he got hit into another dimension. He didn't even make it out of the 3rd inning. So in my opinion,
back in Florida where he hates pitching.
Yeah. In my opinion, we've seen one good game from Trevor Rogers. It was his first game back against Boston. I think Texas smokes him. I mean, I think this is crazy for this to be a pick 'em. I think it should be Texas minus 125. I'm not betting it because the Rangers bats are just too inconsistent, but I think they're about to hit the shit out of Trevor Rogers. But you know what? It'd be Rangers or over because Corbin might get hit up right back. TV Jones?
Yeah, over 8.5. Both of these teams just saw both of these guys. Baltimore obviously beat the shit out of Corbin. Trevor Rogers, damn good game. 8 innings, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, 0 earned. He looked damn good. And prior to that, he gave up 3 to Tampa and then 0 against Boston. So he's had 2 really good outings and 1 bad one. But now this Texas team is gonna get to see him again. Literally a week after they just saw them in Baltimore. In Baltimore. I think both of these guys get a hit up. But with that being said, I also like Rogers under 4.5 strikeouts. I mean, he had 4, 4, and 5 this year, and he just saw this Texas team. The last 3 weeks, this Texas team not hitting lefties real well on paper, but sub 60% strikeout rate with 190 plate appearances. They've seen plenty of lefties and not just been an absolute strikeout machine, but they are kind of hitting lefties too. I mean, 0-3-3, 0-4, 0-1, 3-3. So I mean, like they're getting runs or they're getting nothing. I think they're going to get runs off of Rogers tomorrow, and Corbin also are going to give some up. So it'd be over 8.5 and Trevor Rogers under 4.5 strikeouts at minus 125.
Oh, over 8.5, and you like Trevor Rogers over strikeouts as well.
Yeah, I think he gets bounced fairly quick. I think Texas gets to him. They just saw him. He went 8 innings, only had 4 strikeouts at home. Now he's going to hit the road. Texas just saw him. I think it's going to be a little bit of a trouble for him tomorrow.
All right, let's move on to the next one, which is... See the dude having a meltdown before he was typing in all caps. Sluicer gave out Mets. Like, dude, where are who raises
162 game season, man.
Not to mention,
Rangers bats are 30th.
I had a monster day today. Like I went nuts today. Giants on the road in Arizona. I'm on the Giants, but I probably didn't bet it at the right time. I saw the Diamondbacks bullpen, and I jumped on it. I mean, I think the Giants win, so I think I'll be fine, but not the proper way to do it. Market timing's a huge part of winning long term, and I probably didn't do my best here. I think I got this exact number on the screen, minus 156. Actually, I kind of want to be sure. I'll tell you exactly what I got. I got something like this. Yeah, I got minus 156 exactly. So I really don't. I can't see this closing at like minus 170, so I probably should have waited on this one, but I did bet it. It's a pure fade of the Diamondbacks bullpen. Keep in mind, this is already one of the worst bullpens in baseball because of the injuries, and this is the situation right now for Arizona. There's going to be no Beeks. There's going to be no Thompson. Maybe I don't even know who this is. I don't know if he's going to be available. Ryan Nelson has been good, but he does not pitch deep into games. You're maybe going to get 5 out of him. So who's pitching 6, 7, 8, and 9 for Arizona? You'll have Shelby Miller to close out the game, but I would imagine you only see him if Arizona's winning in the 9th. Murillo, I mean, I guess he's not terrible. Ginkel, he's got an ERA over 10 this year. It's going to be a crapshoot for Arizona in the late innings. I know the Giants bullpen, the Giants lineup has been bad, but the Arizona's lineup without Corbin Carroll hasn't been much to write home about either. I'm on the Giants with Logan Webb on the mound. He's been a beast on the road this year. He also has great lifetime numbers against Arizona, as somebody was talking about in the voice chat. I laid the juice. I'm on the Giants. TV Jones.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the Giants also. The Arizona bullpen is not to be trusted. We saw it this entire series with Miami. I want to play the Giants -1.5, but they're 7-14 on the road as a road favorite covering this run line, so it's not been pretty. Arizona 3-3 as a home dog covering the run line, so I mean it's kind of whatever. But I'll probably just play -1 or money line or something. I think Logan Webb's going to be fine, and Ryan Nelson, he's all right, but it's the bullpen that you really, really worry about for Arizona, and they're going to come in and they're going to have to pitch all 9 innings too, considering they're the home team. So I have no faith. It's going to be San Francisco money line or -1 for me. I'm not 100% sure how I'll play it yet, but I will be on the Giants to get this done. I just have no faith in Arizona's bullpen to actually get it done. I know they're at home. They play better at home, but I have no faith. Like they could be up 3 runs and they'll blow it at some point. So give me San Francisco tomorrow behind Logan Webb.
What do you think, Spoon? You're muted.
I'm looking into Ryan Nelson's numbers here. It looks like he struggles more with lefties, or he's better at getting lefties out than he is righties. And if you look at this Giants lineup, you're going to have a lot more righties in it. I think that plays well for your Giants bet. I really like Logan Webb. I don't think this is a guy I want to try to fade, and this is a big game for him. This is why you pay Logan Webb money to win divisional games. The Diamondbacks lineup is just not the same without Corbin Carroll in it. Ketel Marte is there. Perdomo's there. You got Suarez back. There's definitely some bats there, but I think Logan Webb is the guy that can get him out. Ryan Nelson, though, has pitched very well at home. Not against the best lineups. Pittsburgh, 6 2/3, 0 earned runs. Washington, 4 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. He's good at getting lefties out, so that helps there with Washington, and he only went 4 innings. And then the Padres, and that's a Padres team that was just really struggling to hit at that time. I guess they still are. In that game, he gave up 7 base runners, and he didn't get a single run with those 7 base runners. I think that's one of those kind of like BABIP kind of styles, like you're really lucky to get out of that without a run. So I think the Giants can probably get to him. It's not on my card at this point. There's not quite enough there to get me on it. The Giants bullpen's really been good over the full season, and the Diamondbacks bullpen's been terrible over the full season, but these Giants bats are giving me a little concern right now, and Ryan Nelson's ability to pitch well at home, he might be able to keep him off the board, and the only way I would want to bet this game is at a -1 kind of price, and I don't want to lay -156 with this Giants team right now, and I don't know that they're going to win by 2 runs. That doesn't seem like a good bet in my opinion, so I'm probably not going to get there.
I actually think the Giants are going to hit tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Giants put up a big number. Ryan Nelson,
I said that today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know it hasn't been good, but I think they're going to get some innings against some really bad arms, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if they hit off Ryan Nelson either. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Giants put up a big number. Next up, last game, Kansas City, Royals up. This one's pretty straightforward. The Mariners have nobody in the bullpen. Can't lay it out any differently than that. But it's deeper than that. So not only do the Mariners have nobody in the bullpen, they're flying home from Arlington after an extra inning game. But it's deeper than that, actually. So first, let me show you the Mariners bullpen to show you just exactly what I'm talking about here. It's not pretty. Wait a second. Oh, never mind. I think they're going to have Munoz and Brash. My bad. They're not going to have Leguima, Vargas, Pizarro. Those are the 2 guys. So I misspoke. But whatever. It's really what I bet this based on is the spot. You've got Mariners flying home from Arlington after the extra inning game in a division game to play Kansas City. They're going back home where the Mariners never seem to hit, when we're talking recently, they have not been hitting at home, and I'll show you the exact numbers so you can see. Here we go. Mariners at home. You can see, not pretty. Now, the WRC Plus ballpark adjusted suggests it's not quite that bad, but they're going back home where they haven't really been hitting, also returning from a road trip. Meanwhile, Kansas City is going back on the road where they seem to hit. In the last 30 days, this is actually a top 5 road lineup. We've talked about this. The Royals never score runs at home. Then they go on the road and they start scoring runs. So you've got the Royals going on the road where they seem to hit. The Mariners going home where they don't seem to hit. You add in that Seattle's coming off extra innings games in a big rivalry division series. Yeah, I'm on Kansas City here. Spoon, you with me?
I don't think I can get there with Michael Wacha and George Kirby on the bump. I think Kirby is kind of turning a corner here on the season where we're going to start to see the George Kirby we remember of old. Like you said, I was going to mention the bullpen. I think the closer is at least available and one of the setup men. I think there's a path for the Seattle Mariners to win this game. Obviously, Seattle's bats look a lot better on the road because they play in a very pitcher-friendly park here. It's going to be beautiful weather tomorrow. I think that George Kirby is going to keep them in this game for the first 6 innings, and then after that, it becomes a little bit of a coin flip kind of thing. So in a coin flip, you do want the plus money, but when I look at these bullpens, I see the Royals bullpen on the full season has a 6 ERA, or 6 in ERA, but it's not a bullpen I really trust when I actually look at the arms. And if we're looking at recent form, Seattle's bullpen is performing the best in baseball, and I think they can probably keep KC off this board. I would have a strong lean to the Mariners, to be honest with you. I haven't bet this game, but that's where I'm at.
Trev, TV Jones?
Yeah, under 7.5, minus 120. Kirby being just fine. I know Kansas City on the road. That's where their bats actually show up and actually do much better. But kind of balances out with Seattle. Just they never score at home. Yes, it's like 16-11 is like a home favorite to the overs this year for Seattle. So that's obviously not playing in my to help me out. But if you look at this, we got 78 degrees. The wind's gonna be blowing in 9 miles an hour. So it's already hard enough for Seattle to score there. I think Kansas City is going to be held down fairly well from Kirby and given the weather and ballpark, but I don't see many runs happening in this game. I think Wacha will be fine. I think Kirby's going to be just fine. He's going to wake up a little bit here. So I grabbed under 7.5 right away. I don't see how this goes over. If it does, so be it. But you got wind blowing in, you got Kirby and Wacha on the bump, and a Seattle team that really struggles to score at home. And off a travel day. So I think it's going to be a little bit of dead bats here. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game tomorrow.
A little bit dead bats, huh? Case of the dead bats?
A little bit of dead bats, yeah. Yeah, traveling back home, got to take a day, get readjusted, all that good shit.
TV Jones, when can the people expect to see some more college basketball previews over on the Pump Fake Pod?
Hoping late August, September, I think. I know we might do a couple more shows just going over some random shit, but we're going to start getting conference previews and whatnot going out pretty soon. We're excited, but just haven't rounded up everything yet.
Real quick, we have a request before Spoon tells you where you can find the stuff for the voice chat picks. I fell a couple games behind here. Giants, Arizona. Jacobs on Giants money line. That's me on Giants money line. Spoon ? Dom ? OT's on Diamondbacks first 5 money line. Adam likes the Giants live. I don't mind that. If Ryan Nelson gets off to a solid start and it's like 1-1 after 5, I don't mind that. Charles is on Charles is on some weird shit. Ace on first 5 under. Charles is going through something. That's why it reflects in his picks. And Royals Mariners. Dom's on the under. Jacobs on Royals plus 1.5, first 5 under, and first 3 under. Royals money line for me, and Adams on first 5 under. Spoon, where can the people find your stuff?
You can find all my bets on X at Spoon's Bets. I'm over at Pub Sports Radio on Thursdays with my guy Jimmy the Bag, and on Sundays with my guy Wine Time Sports. We host our own show, Walk Off Wagers. It went pretty well this morning. Had my first losing day in over a week and a half, so it was coming. I was dodging a beating, and you'll have that. But tomorrow I'm going to be joining our guest here last night, Dabby Cab, on his show, and that'll be in the afternoon time. So I'll be looking forward to doing that. Last thing with George Kirby, he's really good at getting righties out. .68 whip on the season.
That.
If you go back to last year, it's always reflected that way. He struggles with lefties, and that Kansas City lineup doesn't have the lefties to get to him, in my opinion.
You really think George Kirby's back though after the one start? I mean, I bet on him a couple times, and I didn't bet on him in that Twin start, but I think I bet on him in the Cubs game. I bet on him a couple times, and I remember thinking like, oh man, this dude doesn't have it. But
so the important thing to remember is he rehabbed in the majors. He didn't do the minor league stints, so he was working through all of his issues in the majors, and I think that was pretty clear with just his control. It didn't look right. And he also got hit in the face with a ball. I think it was the Cleveland game.
Oh, yeah.
Right before. Yeah. No, maybe it was the Cubs game. I can't remember. It definitely kind of threw a wrench into everything. And he can't dodge a wrench, but he can dodge a ball. And I think tomorrow he's got a good shot to play well.
All right, everyone, enjoy your night. New betting league starts tonight. So if we're all starting at 0. So if you're trying to get in the betting league this week, make sure you submit by 6 p.m. Eastern time. To get in. If you could still get in on it after tomorrow, but every day you miss counts as losses. So if you miss tomorrow, you start 0-4, so forth and so on. So if you want a chance of winning the cash and the trophy, make sure you submit by 6 p.m. Eastern time. Everyone have a nice night. Bet responsibly. I'll be up doing college football